Hello everyone, this is Dreamsword, aka Stanley, for this playthrough, and I'm joined by two fellow Tales of Destiny players. Say hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
wait, you are? Where are they?
I know, right?
Yeah. I didn't know
But,
we were professional at all.
Yeah, ain't we? We're pros. Come on. We did a no damage solo of the whole game. I mean, it was pretty awesome. But no, Tom and Styles are here with me. Archer's unfortunately does not have access to Skype, so he can't. But so yeah, this is the finale of the game, and this is where we find an entire civilization in cryosleep. Oh yeah, this game kind of gets dark in its last act.
Yeah, things got really fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then Kronos showed up.
I love that Dimlos immediately goes, quick, kill everybody!
Well, it's a method.
Yeah. But yeah, there's Kronos, aka everybody thought it was Douse when he first showed up.
I thought it was Douse.
But yeah, I figured that since this is the finale and it's actually a decent size, we could talk over it live as something special for once, and also to give our thoughts on the game overall. So, since you two are the newbies, I figured, hey, why don't you guys go first?
Alright, sure. Styles, you go first.
Okay. I mean, at first, I really have never played, like, much of these kind of games, like, more of these kind of, like real RPG kind of games, and honestly, when I heard about Tales, and I was like, when I heard about, like, going to play Tales, and I was just like, I had actually no idea what this game actually was. Like, I really had no idea the game, or the series, or anything.
And then
So
we
I was
told
like-
you to just press X, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it was just, all that was there, and I was just like, alright.
And so, did you end up liking the experience?
Yeah, I actually really did. I mean, at first, when I first heard about doing this and all that, I was like, I kind of didn't think I was gonna like it, but then, like, when we got further and further into it, I actually really did like it.
I'm glad to hear that, and you fell in love with Carl immediately.
Yes. Carl is awesome.
Like, my personal favorite memory concerning your experience with this game is that I was like, and you're gonna be a bard, and you're like, a bard? That sounds dumb, I don't want to be a bard. And then Carl shows up, and you're like, never mind, Carl is amazing.
Yeah.
By the way, I love, again, continuing with how dark this game gets, I love here, Kronos reveals his master plan is that he wants to drain all of the life energy of the people on the surface so that way he can revive his people who were, sentenced to death ages ago. And hi, it's our favorite punching bag.
Yep.
Yeah, Leon's a zombie. Don't ask me how he managed to do this. Like, I always assumed that, like, Hugo saved Leon from drowning somehow and then, like, put a mind control thing on him, maybe. That's just my assumption, I don't know.
Well, doesn't Kronos, like, fucking travel through time and shit?
No, he is not a time traveler at all. He is not Douse. He just looks exactly like Douse. That's all.
Fucking not Douse!
I know, right?
Because I was gonna say, if he can time travel, fucking, maybe he could've just went to the point before, Leon would've fucking drowned and, like, getting destroyed by water and shit, and just kinda pull his corpse out of there.
I know, right? That said, Leon's looking mighty gray there.
Yeah.
Well, being a zombie does that to you.
And here's where one of my controllers finally started to die.
Oh,
Horribly.
right.
It was the one I was using. And so instead, I eventually had to fumble with it enough to where I was just like, okay, maybe if I mash Ultimate Missile Sword, then I can win.
Right. I mean, look at this shit. This is anarchy. So yeah, two of my three controllers are now officially dead. I really need to invest in new ones.
And what do you know? Ultimate Missile Sword actually did work.
Yep. So, speaking of, waifu control, I suppose you can give your thoughts now, Tom.
Sure, originally going into this game, fucking Stan just had a lineup of a bunch of Tales things, that we were gonna go through, and I was looking at the list, and he's just like, yeah, just kind of pick a character from each one. And of course, me being me, I was just like, women.
Right.
And usually I like to be some sort of spellcaster or magic user in this thing. So for like half of this, I was Philia. But the thing is, you didn't get Philia until like later on, so I had to be Mary for the time. And the thing is, playing Mary during the time was actually pretty fucking fun, so that's why I switched over at the end. But at the same time, when I was playing Philia, I had a pretty good time with that as well. And then at that point, I was just like, what do I like better? Pink hair and swag halberd, or bombs and tiny hands?
Yeah, as soon as you discovered how spammable Philia Bomb was, you were just like, well, using this.
Well, the thing is, like, this is an older game, so the spellcasting system and menus and stuff haven't been fully worked out yet.
Yeah.
So spellcasting is really fucking slow. I didn't want to deal with that all the time. And then I found out how good bombs are, so I just literally started chucking those, and it worked.
Good for juggling, surprisingly.
Yeah, and then eventually it's just like, you can throw 2 bombs now. And I was like, double the fun. And then and it's just like, bomb rain, throw a bunch of bombs everywhere. I was just like, oh.
Just grab.
By the way, sorry to interrupt, but because we are so over-leveled, we're just kind of stomping the final bosses here, especially the giant steak. If you guys are really curious as to how these people fight, Leon fights like he did way back at like the second act of the game. Kronos is supposed to be like this really annoying fucker who teleports around and casts like top tier magic and shit. But again, because we have literally everything in this game just about, we kind of just destroyed him. And then here, it's not much different. He's just kind of bigger and does more damage.
So
and I love this summon, the fucking Luna Hadouken.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. But sorry to interrupt. Continue if you have anything else to say.
I actually forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I was about to, like, picking up every bomb you have and just, like, tossing all over the place.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And then fucking Mary, out of nowhere, is just like, I'm back in the party and I learned a few new tricks. Ultimate Missile Sword! And also Sendatsu!
And also fucking having some really amazing weapons, like the Bahamut's tier, and also currently the Excalibur, which you can only get in the bonus dungeon.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we're just showing off all of the summons because, like, we haven't used them all game, and they're one-time use. And for one-time use item summons, they do, like, nothing.
Yeah, they're not really that useful.
Bad, actually.
Like, they look cool, but they don't do any damage.
Like, you would think summons would be boss killers, or at least mini-boss killers, but no. These just kind of suck.
Yeah. Like, see here, he's, like, trying to cast magic and shit, but we're all like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, you and your waifu choice. Yeah. But yeah, Tom, did you actually enjoy this game overall?
Overall, yeah, I did enjoy the game. There were times where I was just like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
There were points where I just kind of didn't enjoy it. And usually it was around, like, minigame times, or, like, times when we were literally just kind of walking around, either doing a bunch of nothing, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I was there for most of the story stuff, and usually whenever we had to fight people.
Right.
But I did have my fair time of just sitting out of things, because I was like,
Well, like I said, everyone gets a turn being first player, so in a future game you'll be more active. So.
yeah, a way future game, fucking.
Oh no, I can make it sooner actually. Like, I know the next game we'll be doing Eternia, you won't be, but I think the one after that, if I'm remembering right, is Legendia. I think, if I remember correctly. So you could actually be first player in that pretty easily. But But yeah, definitely the weakest part of this game is the minigames. But that's like with every Tales game.
Yeah.
Tales cannot do minigames. Just straight up.
And
the
fuck
minigames
that
in this game
Space
are
and
terrible.
Heroes minigame. If you were ever wondering while Stan was streaming this game, we all had minigames we were better at than each other. Like, Patrick, our player one, who was in here, was the one who did the fucking tag minigame or whatever.
Yeah. With that annoying little kid in the friggin' desert.
Yeah.
Like, I forget if Styles did a minigame.
He helped out during some of the crate puzzles, I know that. I don't think he ever did a
Well, I
specific minigame,
did kind
though.
of like show the locations of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Styles was there to like read the guide whenever we had to do the crate pushing, and then Patrick actually did the crate pushing. Stan, I can't remember what you did actually. My bad.
I did do a couple of the crate stuff. Basically, whenever, and this is actually very logical, because you know the world of the world in the sky is crumbling. So like that shit's not gonna go down peacefully. Like,
No, it's not.
like this is a moment that everybody really dug, and I'm happy about that. So, like, I mean, if this were like a prototypical RPG, it would just kind of be like, oh, we saved everybody, hooray, you know, no consequence. Here, though, no.
No,
You gotta earn your fucking
consequences.
happy ending. But then, I did do some other stuff. Like, I did try to do Space Invaders, but, you turned out to be much better at that than I am.
Yeah, somehow my ability to be subpar at to be adequate at Toho was enough for me to get like a decent enough reward whenever we had to do Space Invaders. And
Yeah.
I also did that jank-ass blackjack minigame, which really
Yeah,
wasn't
oh, yeah.
blackjack in the end. It was literally just a math puzzle.
Pretty much. They called it blackjack, though.
I was hoping for legit blackjack, because I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah. And here's where the Swordians decide they must sacrifice themselves, which, this is all, because, like, throughout this game I was telling people, like, differences between this and the remake, and also what, Destiny 2, how that game interpreted the events of this game, and here, for those who don't know, Destiny 2 has this thing where, Leon, it's not really that big of a spoiler, so don't worry about it, but, like, Leon comes back in time, and he, in order to help blow up the Eye of Adamoni, he throws, his Swordian Shaltir into the eye while nobody's looking. You know, a better argument for that would be, like a retcon I would actually approve of would be, considering that we literally just killed Leon, so I doubt his corpse went anywhere. Why didn't they just go pick up Clemente and then just chuck it into the fucking eye?
Yeah, seriously, fucking Leon just kind of died, so why not have Mary or someone just be like, ugh!
Right.
Yeah, with his Swordian.
Yeah, so, like, that would be a much better case to argue, in my opinion, but, yeah, whatever. Fucking...
After Leon came back to life from being a zombie, and then dying again, he came back to life once again.
Yep, pretty much. But, yeah, so... It was fun revisiting this game because it has been, like, 5+ years since I last played it, so it was nice to get a refresher. And it was interesting to see just how much this game, in particular, actually would influence later ones. Both in small ways and big ways. For instance, you guys remember that kid who fucking stole our money and then ran off and we couldn't fucking find him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out he ran off to a different game, entirely. We'll actually be meeting him again.
Please tell me we can beat him up and take the money.
That's what I was gonna say.
We do get to. I know that for a fact. And it's also just interesting to see just how much the battle system in general has evolved. Like, in this game, you have to do the channeling thing, which, you know, we got frustrated with it for a lot of reasons, but, here's my case for it. I could deal with the channeling system if every time a character joined you, they just came with a channeling equip. Because, as the game stands, you get all these characters, but you don't get every channeling until, like, the second act of the game.
Yeah.
So you have to wait a while. In which case, I think in actually the Fantasia remake, I think they actually got note of this, and I think they just, like, give you all the channelings at the same fucking time. Which is good.
Yeah, that's really good.
I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, here's where Stan learns that he is in fact not a Chosen One. Dimlos actually lied to him just to get his ass in gear, which is actually a pretty cool twist.
Yeah.
On the whole Chosen One thing. I actually like that. And sacrificed.
I'm sorry, but you're not important at all. Fair enough.
Right.
Toss.
Yeah, like, I just love how Stan just straight up is like, alright, like, he's totally cool with it.
Yeah, he's
the
cool
thing
with
is,
being lied
he
to.
probably knew.
Yeah, like, he probably put 2 and 2 together, considering that, you know, half the party has fucking magic sword.
Yeah.
But, and then we all just fucking bolt out of the dungeon. I love
Even
this.
away from the save point.
Yep. And the mirrors are still broken because we made a point to break every single one.
Patrick loves breaking stuff.
Yep. So,
And putting his hand on fire.
yes. He gained an immunity to it because of that, you see.
Yep.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
this is actually the last game that would have the food bag, because, again, the Fantasia remake for the PS1 would introduce cooking into the series, and as such, we have not seen the food bag ever since. So this is the last time it shows up. It's only been in 2 games. So.
Well, to my knowledge, the food bag has, like, a spiritual successor in fucking, Grace's.
Kinda, but it's less of a food bag and more of an alchemy pot. More than anything. But you'll see how that system works when we eventually do get to Grace's. But, and yep, there it goes. We just literally killed an entire civilization.
To be fair...
And also, now the world is blowing up.
Yep. The world is dead.
Yep. I love that, like, half of you were just like, what the fuck? At the scene. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you just knew this was coming up, and you're just like, yeah, that's how it ends. I'm just like, okay, fair enough. And then Patrick and Styles are just like, what the fuck is this?
Right?
Yeah. You just see, like, the world blowing up, and then credits appear.
Yeah, it's a really good fake out. I actually really like it. That said, if it wasn't a fake out, I would be totally cool with the world just blowing up.
You know, it makes sense. God's eye exploded.
Right? Yeah. And here's where they credited all the Japanese voice actors, which would return in later games, of course. But, yeah, overall, I do still really like this game. I don't think I would list it in, like, my top Tales games, but I do really like it. I really dig it. Maybe I'm just a sucker for classic RPGs, I don't know, but, I like some of the stuff old and new that it does. That said, it could have thought some things out a little bit more. Especially when it comes in terms of balance, like as we noted the channeling thing. Which they would get rid of later. And then, of course, for example, my favorite thing is that you have to run all around the world to get food for a fucking dragon. You get him as a spell, and he fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, he is a really shitty spell.
You would think the blue dragon would be pretty good. No, it's kind of shit.
Yeah.
Which also says something about the anime.
I know, right?
Like, from what I remember, the only good thing to come out of Blue Dragon was apparently that game on the 360, and I played it before, and it was alright.
Yeah, I can't comment because I have not seen the anime nor played that game, so the only thing I know is that it exists. That's it.
Yep. That's all I know, too.
So, but, yeah, so, but yeah, I'm sad that a lot of the sillier elements of this game got actually cut in the remake. For example, being able to grow ice cream out of a garden. I mean, that's just amazing. Come on now. And also the tricycle, which literally everybody loves.
The tricycle's amazing.
The tricycle was one of the best items in the game.
But yeah, like, I mean, overall, yeah, if all you care about is gameplay elements, then yeah, go for the remake, especially since a fan translation for it is currently underway. But, to me personally, I personally prefer the characterization and music in this game over the remake. But people argue cases for both, and you know what, I can see it, but just personal preference, really. But yeah, overall, and you know, this actually brought back a lot of nostalgia for me too, playing this, because this was back in the days where localized games would censor swear words. So whenever someone would be like, fuck, you would just see, like, symbols across the screen.
Yeah.
And, like, I get that that's not very professional anymore, but, like, part of that just makes me giggle and adds to the enjoyment, just for me personally.
Yeah, it makes it funny.
Yeah, it adds a sense of levity to it all, and we're back and this is where...
God, this is just funny.
And this is where I was like, what, you guys didn't know it was a dream the entire time? This game never happened.
I just kind of looked at him like, ooh, shit.
Yeah, and then you see this happen.
Like...
And then Lilith beats the crap out of Stan for no good reason.
Just throws him out of the bed and into the ground.
Like, for seriousness though, if they had pulled that shit where they were like, Stalin was dreaming the whole time, I would have called eternal bullshit on this game. Like, I'd have been like, no, fuck this.
It would be really stupid, but at the same time, it would explain some of the weird stuff, like the growing ice cream or the tricycle.
True enough.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's what you got. That's something, in case you guys didn't notice, that's something to point out. When it came to the original trilogy of games that I like to call them, you know, Fantasia, Destiny, and Eternia, those three games are actually really cartoony. Like, they do, like, more lesson of the day type stuff, and they're not afraid to, you know, make fun of themselves a little bit. Whereas with later Tales games, like, yeah, they have their silly moments and shit, but they take themselves a lot... Yeah, like, they take themselves a lot more seriously in terms of a lot of things. Especially the games made by Team Symphonia, who, like, they try to create grand epic stories. And, in my opinion, it sometimes falls flat on its face, but, And by the way, I like this little touch. You can actually see Ruti's feet if you look really close at the roof there.
Yeah, you can.
But yeah, this is where everyone gets together for their anniversary. And Carl's like, what if I just want to play my music? Yeah, Carl. And I don't know why they invited Kang, because Kang's just a douche.
Yeah.
Who invited him?
And then he tries to pick a fight with fucking Chelsea, of all people.
Fun fact, though, Chelsea's actually really good in this game. Like, even though we didn't use her, if anybody had decided, I like Chelsea, fuck off, she's actually a really useful party member.
At least there's that. But everyone was like, man, fuck Chelsea.
I know, right? But yeah, and then for the games made by Team Destiny, as they're called, because, you know, their first game was Destiny 2, their games are more focused around the gameplay, and their stories are more simplistic than anything. That's not to say they don't do some cool stuff, you know, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, their stories are shit, you don't play it for that, and no, I'm not getting at that, but, fucking Ruti. You could have broke his back.
Don is having a bad day.
Right. But yeah, they're more focused on, like, being high action in terms of gameplay and stuff, and then they're like, the story is second. It's interesting to see how, you know, that all goes.
And then people try to treat those games like a fighting game.
Yeah. Well, people try to treat the Tales series in general similar to fighting game, which is weird to me. But, whatever.
Like, it does have a combo system, and it can get pretty cool, but at the same time, it's really not a fighting game.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it.
Especially since, from what I've noticed, a lot of the community doesn't, like, they'll, like, treat it like a fighting game, but they won't, like, in a meta sense, treat it like a fighting game, you know, like, talk about tech, or share, like, oh, did you know this character can infinite, or, you know, nothing like that. It's all hush-hush, my strategy is my strategy, GTFO, you know, whereas, or this actually a fighter, you'd want to share strategy so people can get better at it.
Yeah.
But it's whatever, though. People can treat the game how they want. I'm in no place to judge, but friggin', Yeah, so overall though, yeah, I do really like this game. It is a fun little RPG. And if you guys thought we killed the boss too fast, keep in mind that if we wanted to get literally everything, Philia would need to be level 75, and then she could literally cast one spell and kill every single boss. We wouldn't have to move.
Yep.
Which, that's another thing to note. This game does not have difficulty settings. Difficulty settings would not be a thing until, I think Eternia did it, but the Fantasia remake might have. I'm not sure. But yeah, this game could really use a hard mode, because as it is, this game's actually really easy. Like, it only gets difficult if you're really obsessed about stealing everything. Which we were for half the game, so...
Or, you know, at getting the highest amount of points in the,
in Space Invaders.
Yeah.
I don't know how they expected anybody to get 1,000,000 points in Space Invaders. I don't think anybody is that patient.
The thing is, in theory, I could do it. In execution, I would never want to do that.
Yeah. But, like... It's interesting to know, like... By the way, if people are wondering if we're going to cover Fantasia, since we did kind of talk about it, no, because we watched the OVA version, because it's a lot simpler. So, that said, though, with Fantasia 2, aka Narikiri Dungeon, if the fan translation for that finishes anytime soon, maybe we'll cover that? Maybe? It's possible. Because that is a fun game that deserves more credit. But yeah. We pretty much agreed that if the game has an anime adaptation, we just won't play it, because, you know, it's a lot easier to just watch the anime.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, life is good. Everyone wins. Until the sequel, which says that nobody wins, which is...
And then we ignore the sequel.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's not even in English, so it's not like we're being completely unfair to it, right?
I mean, if it was right there, then we would have to blatantly ignore it.
Right. It's like how we're blatantly ignoring Crystal Bears for Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be like, yeah, let's not.
Crystal Bears was a mistake.
Yeah. That said, if a DS emulator ever masters netplay, we could do the DS games. You know, the DS sequels of Crystal Chronicles.
Yep.
We could do that.
Yeah.
I would be down for it. But yeah, that was Tales of Destiny. I had a lot of fun playing it with you guys. I'm glad you guys liked it. There's some amazing ending artwork. And I hope you viewers enjoyed. So until next time, take care.
Later, everyone.
See ya.